So you're anxious to get started. You've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. You've had this idea. Now what? What do you do? How do you get started? Well, I think one of the most important things you can do is start to hang out with like-minded people, like-minded entrepreneurs. Go to entrepreneurship events locally. They're everywhere, and that's the great thing about being in the U.S. and around the world. I mean, there's a lot of countries that have more and more entrepreneurial events, but let's talk about the United States specifically. There's so many entrepreneurial events that you can go to, and you want to go hang out and find your people because entrepreneurship is an ecosystem, and you gotta have that support from people who are doing the same thing you're trying to do and give you that moral support, because it's hard. Being an entrepreneur is really hard. And but again, if you're doing what you're passionate about, what you enjoy doing, then it doesn't become as hard. It's still hard, but it's a tiny bit not as hard. And so the purpose of the channel here, and one of the knowledge I want to share with you guys, and the platform we put together, is I want to help you guys do it in a healthy way. What I mean in a healthy way is that you're doing it for the right reasons. That the business you're starting matches your mission in life. That's really important. And I think I've always done it instinctively, but when I was younger, it wasn't as clear. And I think things might have been a little different had I understood that more clearly early on. And so I think the most important thing you can do, let's say you've never been an entrepreneur, is really spend the time to go deep, soul searching deep. Because again, if this is going to be something that you're going to do and just require your blood, sweat, and tears, because that's what it takes really, especially early on when you're just getting started, you need to make sure that you're aligned. That the idea that you're working on, the industry that you're going to work on, is aligned with who you are and the purpose and mission in your life. And that's probably one of the biggest things about this channel and this entrepreneurship platform that I want to put together is I really want to pass the message along of healthy entrepreneurship, because I think the media and society, America especially, focuses so much on the wins, on the quote unquote success. And when I say success, you know, the money success and the bling bling and all this stuff, and that's not entrepreneurship. It really is not. And I just think it gets painted in the wrong light. And then what happens is you have a lot of people, you know, when I go to a lot of entrepreneurship events and I meet these first-time entrepreneurs, it's as if I'm seeing the media in their eyes and how they speak, and it's just not healthy. And a lot of them end up burnt out because they're chasing the wrong things. They just haven't been taught the right thing, the right ways to think about entrepreneurship. So one of my biggest goals is to help people create a strong foundation to be as well-balanced entrepreneurs as they can be. Now, entrepreneurship is definitely something that a lot of the time you're going to be out of balance. You know, sometimes you just gotta go, right? But then there's also times where you might get a bit of a break, and then that's when you want to rebalance. But most importantly, if you set that kind of those ground rules and those barriers when you first get started, and again, the business model that you're working on is aligned with who you are, then I think that balance is a little easier. And it all starts with that. It all starts with that foundation. And I want this channel to be that foundation. And hopefully that message resonates with you. I mean, there's plenty of other guys and gals out there that are selling a different type of entrepreneurship. For me, it's really a holistic approach to entrepreneurship. And I know it sounds kind of weird, holistic entrepreneurship. Maybe it's a term I should trademark, but it's so important. You know, being somebody who's been an entrepreneur my whole life, you know, since the age of 8, essentially, never had a salary job. You know, I've started, invested, and run so many different companies and worked on so many different ideas that I really mean this conclusion I'm sharing with you guys. And if I had to do it all over again, and this is the part of this channel, this is how I would do it. I would spend more time really digging in and doing the soul searching and asking myself the important questions and doing the work with mentors and entrepreneurship ecosystems that are thinking the way I'm thinking and that are healthy thinking about entrepreneurship. Because yet entrepreneurship, and you'll hear me say it a million times, and I just have to keep saying it, entrepreneurship is not about making a fortune, right? Entrepreneurship is about making a living, right? Making a living, because you have to make a living at what you enjoy to do, right? The startup that you're going to work on, this idea that you have, you can't do it anywhere else. That's why you're doing it. That's why you're evolving the industry that you're working on, right? You cannot, that job description doesn't exist. You know, the things that I'm working on at iUnit Communities, they don't exist yet. And so that's why I'm so passionate about what we're doing, is we're helping fix the housing issue right now in America, but hopefully we can influence others around the world to do the same. And that's what gets me excited. That's what keeps me going. You know, I just turned 45 2 weeks ago. It's still hard for me to say that. And I don't own a private jet. So what? Right? I've got a little plane, 4-seater, and it's great. And I get to enjoy flying. And if that's the last plane I'll ever own, that's fine, right? So I guess it depends how you use the word success, right? For me, for example, just talk about flying for a little bit. It's always been my dream to fly. So, you know, I don't need a jet to feel like I'm a success, right? For me, just flying, I feel like I'm a success because I just get to do it. I get to do something I've always dreamed about doing. I'm doing as cost effectively as I can in aviation, because obviously aviation is a slippery slope and it get pretty expensive pretty quick. But I'm still enjoying it, right? And so I didn't go into entrepreneurship, or at least for sure the business that I have today isn't geared, right, on making the most money possible. Because when you're trying to figure out a new way of doing things and you're tinkering, you're obviously not building as much as somebody would be building if they were staying with the status quo. And that's okay, right? But entrepreneurship is not about, you know, automatically making a fortune, you know, the 40 houses and, you know, everybody be in a hurry to get to the beach and all those things, and retire to do what? To just sit there and let your mind go numb, and the statistics are just terrible on that. But I just want to make sure that the right message of entrepreneurship is being passed along. And in America, many countries in the world, I'm not saying America is the only country, but in America is one country where you're allowed to dream about a business idea. You're allowed to quote unquote fail, which you've heard me talk about failure, and I see failure as part of the success. You know, anybody who hasn't had failure in their life, I feel, and specifically in their entrepreneurship journey, I feel sorry for. Because part of the great thing about being an entrepreneur is that when you have failures, because again, you guys know I love the Greek saying, you suffer your way to wisdom. Well, being an entrepreneur, you're front and center to that. And your ego gets put in check very often. And when you have quote unquote these failures and your ego really gets put in check, well, when you have that win, what society would consider win and no longer a failure, I just think you're a better person for it. So I feel bad for those entrepreneurs who just had their first idea went viral and and I don't want to mention any names. I'm thinking of some names, but I don't want to get in trouble. There's some entrepreneurs out there because remember the 4 things, right? Idea, execution, luck, and timing, where all those kind of lined up on their first thing, and they viraled out, and they became multi-billionaire, and they're just miserable people. You know, sue their partners, talk down on employees, mismanage employees. I mean, I feel sorry for those people, and I would never want to be like that. So entrepreneurship, right, is about making a living at what you enjoy to do. And if you stay at it, eventually, maybe there is a small fortune for you to be made. But don't start looking at it as like, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur so I can be a multi-billionaire. I'm telling you, if you go in it that way, you're going to fail. You might as well play the lottery. And I think it's really that serious. And that's why I'm really harping on that message on this channel, because I'm not seeing it talked about enough on the other YouTube channels and other folks out there, and in the media in general, in the business schools. And so this is the channel where we're going to embrace doing the soul searching, the holistic entrepreneurial journey, to really make sure that first and foremost your idea is a good fit for who you are, your aspirations, your goals, your mission in life. So then when you dedicate yourself to it, you have a better chance of being balanced versus listening to the status quo and just chasing after just the pure dollar and then wondering why you're miserable one day when you do one day reach that goal and you feel empty, because you basically sacrificed a lot of things in your life, a lot of important things in your life, for something that didn't really matter all that much to you. So you guys know how these videos go. Comment, like, subscribe. The comments help drive the conversation. I'm really excited to put all this content together for you. Again, I've been at it 25 plus years, and now I feel like it's a great time for me to start doing this. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about leaving this message behind. That's what I'm excited about YouTube and the internet, the eternal aspect of it. Unless one day they unplug the internet, and then obviously that's no longer eternal. But in theory, let's just say the internet stays around into perpetuity. Then this message, if it can help my kids, their kids, and a few folks along the way, then it's a win for me, and I'm happy to have done it. Because again, life is about being of service, and that's the way I want to live my life. Of service to society, to help build more energy efficient, affordable housing, and being of service to future entrepreneurs and helping them have the right mindset to go about it and to have the right success, define the right success, define the right word of entrepreneurship. So I appreciate it and look forward to talking to you guys. See ya.